Morgan Stanley predicted that 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless by 2030. One of the reasons is because the number of prime working age women in the US has been increasing steadily, and most of these women are single and completely focused on their career. That single childless women very generally tend to be much more unhappy, much unhealthier, especially mentally, much lonelier and much less fulfilled than women who have a husband and children. This is just statistically true. This has been proven through many different types of studies and research. But this is bigger than a woman's happiness. This is about the bedrock of any healthy society. What is the bedrock of any healthy society? It's not money. It's not buying things. It's not consumerism. It's the family. It's the family unit. It's always been that way.
Well, brace yourselves for the impending doom of the so-called strong, independent women, because by the time 2030 rolls around, they'll have successfully swapped family barbecues for office coffee breaks and replaced the pitter-patter of little feet with the relentless click-clack of their keyboards. Talk about tragic, right?
Majority of working women, by 2030, 45% of them are going to be unmarried and no kids. So women who are 38 years old are going to look and say, I've been working my ass off since I'm 21 years old. I've been encouraged to go to school, get a job. I don't need no man. I'm going to become a boss, babes. And they're going to look at themselves, and they're turning 40 next year, and they're going to be like, I've got a couple $100,000 in the bank. No man, no kids, couple cats. So it's hard to tell a woman who's 30 today, right? Hey, you're making all the wrong decisions. So the reality is not going to set in now. It might be 10 years from now.
As the clock ticks towards 2030, these dairies are painting themselves into a lonely corner. The prospect of retirement parties with no one to invite and an empty home echoing with the sound of professional accomplishments seems like the perfect recipe for existential dread. But hey, at least their resumes will be stellar, right? Oh, and they might have a cat or a dozen at least.
A couple of weeks ago that said for the first time ever since records began, 50.1% of women are childless by 30. So there are more women without children at 30 than there are women with children. The first time ever.
I believe it was where I was talking about what our society does to 19-year-old women, or 18-year-old women, 19-year-old women. We just lie to them all the time. You know, the first lie is there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition. So that's the first lie. The second lie is there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. So that's the second lie. And then the third lie is there should be nothing more important in your life than your career.
In the grand spectacle of life, these overachievers are embracing the bold strategy of prioritizing work over, well, human connections. Who needs a loving family when you can have a killer PowerPoint presentation, right? Clearly, the allure of corner offices and LinkedIn endorsements is just too irresistible to bother with trivial matters like raising kids or experiencing the joys of family life. However, their being single is not that shocking when this is how they behave.
So in a few seconds, you realize why a lot of women are single. So when you look at yourself, what would you say you need to improve when you're dealing with the opposite gender?
Nothing. Shit, I don't think there's any flaws. I don't really have any flaws. Nothing to improve. What I need to improve?
Yes.
Probably his timing.
What? Your timing or his timing?
His timing.
What the fuck? It's about you though.
Oh,
you need to improve? Yeah, what do you need to improve?
I don't know.
You see how she jumped straight to you?
And then you've got this level of delusion.
Not even if it's the last day of my life. I would not want to be with a man who makes less money than me, less smart than me, shorter than me.
Based on my DMs, I'm 1,000.
Now, hey, I'm a 10 and this is what I deserve, but like now you've confused yourself into thinking like this is what the world is going to be like.
What's an average guy?
100K
a year and 5'10" is really not that amazing.
Well, the average man is 5'8", between $37,000 and $50,000 per year. You want the average man?
No. Why the fuck would I do that? I could just live at my house.
Describe your ideal man. Paul has money more than I would make most likely.
I want that lifestyle.
I mean, women marry a lifestyle. Who's the first one gone when he loses his job? Her.
How much money should your man make a year?
Yeah. I would want my husband to be making 120, 150 around there.
70 and 100K.
Like 300,000.
I like 200, 300K. I don't want access to your bank account. I want an allowance so I can have my own shit.
A lot of these bitches have done nothing with their life, and you motherfuckers over here stepping on them because you're a fucking loser. The craziest thing about women is they've never sustained someone for 99 years of their life financially. Men pay for women till their hearts explode in their fucking chest. Women pay for a year, but the pussy goes dry.
Is it any surprise when I say, brother, go get your passports and flee?
Would you rather marry a guy who is rich, buys you a ton of fancy shit like Birkins, brings you on dope trips, but cheats on you? Or marry a broke dude who can't buy you shit and he doesn't cheat?
Okay, so the second one does not cheat.
No, he don't cheat. He loves you. Like, literally, he sends you flowers on the most random days with little teddy bears that are holding like a tiny balloon.
I'm gonna say the first guy. And here's why. Here's why. My mom, she's been married a few times, right? And those relationships didn't last for various reasons. One of the biggest ones being that she was the breadwinner. That it's like a very hard dynamic.
Yeah, it is.
For men.
That is a weird dynamic.
It honestly is.
So, here are the women of the future. May your promotions be plenty, your work emails incessant, and your family gatherings non-existent. Because who needs warm, fuzzy moments when you can have the cold, fluorescent glow of a computer screen as your lifelong companion? Cheers to the tragic comedy of the career-centric life.
Let me break it to you boys. The average 23-year-old girl has slept with more men than the average 53-year-old woman. Let that sink in. We're living in a time, and I know this because I used to be a teacher for many years, and I couldn't believe the sexual promiscuity amongst 14, 13, 12-year-old girls, because here's what they had. They had access to Snapchat. They could send nudes of themselves to older boys or whatever it is from the age of 11, 12. Nudes or whatever it is, well, it's technically child pornography. They would start so young. And they're living in an era where there's no negativity attached to sleeping around. It's seen as liberating. So by the time a girl is 23 years old, I promise you she's slept with more men than a 53-year-old woman. Because a 53-year-old woman grew up in a time where she was shamed for sleeping around. There was no sexual liberation. There was a sanctity attached to sexuality. A 22-year-old grew up in a time where Snapchat, twerking, wearing promiscuous clothes, going out, being on social media was all normalized. So if you think that, I'm going to be with a 21-year-old, she's going to have low body count. Guys, what world do you live in?
The sad part is that they'll forever be stuck in the hookup culture because they have never made time to create a family. Was this the goal of feminism? And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.